Alright, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about what is this intro? My name is Tyrone Marcel. I'm a violinist from Shreveport, Louisiana. And today we're going to be talking about 2025 goals as well as my ins and outs. So let's start with the ins and outs. My overall in is to create more, and the out is to consume less. This is a pretty popular one. A lot of us do a lot of mindless scrolling on social media, and I think it's important as a creator that I do more of the creating than the consumption. I don't want my perspective or my motivations to be, not tainted, but I don't want to get mixed up with everything that's going on online, all the trending topics, all of the news, all the doom scrolling. I want to kind of live in a little bit of a creative bubble, make my videos, make my music, drop it, rinse, repeat, right? So my second in is to record everything. My out is to rely on tagged videos. I do a lot of gigs for weddings, private events, and things like that. And sometimes I will not set up a camera and a tripod. As simple as it is, I'll leave it in the car and I will rely on people who are at the event that are taking photos, and I'll run to them at the end and say, "Oh, can you send me that video, please?" And sometimes people leave before the event is over. Sometimes I forget who has the video because I don't remember everybody's face at the event. And there's tons, I have some very specific memories of really going off on my violin, like right in front of people's cameras, and I never got the videos. So I have nothing to show for it, nothing to post, and that's tragic. The third thing, as you can see, I'm in a hotel. My third in is to book hotels. My out is doing turnaround trips. So like I said, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and a lot of my work happens down in Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. And that's a 3, 4, 5 hour drive sometimes, and I will often do turnaround trips. I'll finish a wedding, 8, 9 o'clock, and book it back home and make it home at, midnight, 1, 2, sometimes 3 in the morning. I hit a deer one time, not because it was late, but because that deer jumped out in the road. But that wouldn't have happened if I would have booked the hotel, got some proper rest, and then went back home the day after that. My fourth in is to experiment with my style. If you just look at my social media, I dress pretty plain. I don't think I have a style, but I definitely have a personality. And one of my goals is to build my wardrobe and develop a personal style that matches my personality. I don't want to just throw on something. I can put on a suit. I'm very good at that. My friend jokes that, I'm very good at dressing like a church boy because that's just how I was raised. But I want to expand my style and really express myself in a visual form as well. So my out would be to stay in my comfort zone, which is, pretty plain, jeans, t-shirt, some Air Force Ones, real basic. Next is to be in bed by 10:30 if possible. That is my in. I'm naturally a morning person. I can hang, when I do concerts and stuff with Orchestra Noir. Sometimes our concerts don't end until 10:30, 11 o'clock. And by the time I get back to my hotel room, eat some food, shower, it's midnight, 1 in the morning. But on my day-to-day, when I'm not on the road or anything like that, I want to be in bed by 10:30. That way I really get some solid sleep because I'm going to wake up early naturally anyway. I can't sleep in. That's a weird quirk about me. 7, 8 o'clock comes, I'm up. I'm up with the sun, regardless of how late I go to sleep. So the out would be staying up late for no reason. I don't work well late. A lot of music people are night owls. They like the late night studio sessions. That's not me. I would rather wake up fresh in the morning, record, eat some breakfast, and go on about my day. Speaking of recording, my next in is to record daily. The out is to wait for inspiration. It's a bad habit of mine, and I think other creators can relate to this, to wait for inspiration before we actually start creating, whether that's music production, any type of art, visual art. We kind of wait on when I get the inspiration, then I'll lock in and, turn on the computer, turn on the piano, whatever it may be. But I think it's good to flex that muscle, flex that mental muscle, because the brain, it's a muscle too. You have to exercise it. You have to get into that flow, get into that rhythm, build that habit of creating daily. And I think that makes it easier for your ideas to come out because you're almost training your mind to come up with new ideas and to stay in a consistent state of inspiration versus searching around endlessly for it, because some ideas really will just hit you in the head. They'll hit you in the shower. You may have a dream, but sometimes you got to get it out the mud. Sometimes you have to make something from nothing. My next in is to use Tonebase daily. This is not sponsored, but Tonebase is an online platform that has basically lessons for classical violin, some other instruments too, but I have a lifetime subscription with them, and there are masterclass video modules by some world-class violinists about different pieces, different techniques, different musical philosophies. It's basically like masterclass.com, but specifically for classical music. And I have not been taking advantage of this amazing resource. And so, because I'm out of school now, I say now, it's been like 5 years, but I don't have a private teacher right now. I do study with someone from time to time, but it's been a while and I'm not always able to see her. So in between those visits, I want to really lock into Tonebase daily and pick up some little nuggets, practice inspiration, just digging into these pieces that I need to learn and build up my classical repertoire. I think it's just good to take advice from the people who do it best. And I paid for the subscription, I might as well use it, right? And the out would be ignoring my technique, which is relying on the skill that I've already built up to instead of pushing myself past that and really growing my technique and learning more advanced skills. My last in is to actually post the content that I record. I am very guilty of hoarding lots of video content on my phone, in the cloud, on hard drives. It's bad. It's bad. But I'm going back, and even some stuff from last year, I'm emptying out the vault. I'm posting everything. Not everything, but everything that's worth posting. I'm not just going to wait around or procrastinate on editing. I'm going to get it done. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, I'm going to be focusing, that early morning scroll is going to be the early morning edit. So the energy will be the same. I'll still roll over and be on my phone, but instead of scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, I'm going to be editing, whether that's on InShot, CapCut. I can use DaVinci Resolve on my computer, but we're going to actually post content in 2025. And the out will be hoarding videos, like I said. So those are my ins and outs for 2025. And next, we're going to move on to my 2025 goals overall. You said, bro, got notes? I do have notes, man. I gotta make sure I stay on track, man. All right, so this next section is about my 2025 goals. If you watched my last video, you saw a little bit of a recap from 2024. And so this is kind of part 2 to that. If you didn't see my previous video about how much money I made in 2024, go watch that. I will link it on screen somewhere. I may not even be pointing in the right spot, but go watch that video. One of my first goals for 2025 is to get monetized, which means that I need 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. I know it's going to take a lot of work, but I believe that it's doable. I'm literally recording a video right now, so all I got to do is lock in, keep the momentum going. I've got some very good content coming up, some very good covers to post, and I hope that they do well. I know that they'll do well because they're going to be good. My next 2025 goal is to max out my Roth IRA. For 2025, they did not increase the contribution limit, so it's still at $7,000. So I want to max that out so that I can put some money back for retirement. If you're not investing for retirement, that's something that you should look into. My next goal for 2025 is to hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. At the time of recording, I am at 7,550-ish followers, but I really want to hit the 10K mark. I just bought the verification check, so now I look more official, whatever. I'll give them my $15 a month. I think it's worth it to look more professional and just take myself more seriously as a brand, and also stop those weird impersonation pages from coming up if that ever becomes the case. My next goal for 2025 is to drop 4 musical projects. That sounds like a lot, especially given that last year I only released 2 songs, and one of them was a cover. It was Made For Me by Money Long. If you haven't watched that video, I will also link it on screen. I think I'm doing the YouTube thing right. So I want to drop 4 projects. There'll be a mixture of instrumental music and also, some vocals in there, getting back into my vocal bag and being less shy about singing in front of people and on camera. My next goal, speaking of dropping 4 projects, is to hit 50,000 streams on Spotify and 50,000 streams on Apple Music. It's kind of, I don't know where I get more listens from. I feel like it's pretty even between Spotify and Apple Music. Maybe a little bit more on Spotify. But I basically want to hit 50K on each of those platforms. I think that's a good number to hit, especially with dropping 4 projects. I mean, if I get a couple hundred listeners, I might be able to hit that. If I have a couple bangers in there that people put on repeat, I think it can happen. And I know my mom's going to help out a lot. Some personal goals to finish off is to finish reading my Bible. I've never read the Bible all the way through. I think as an adult that's grown up in the church boy, I think it's kind of crazy to be a Christian and not read the whole Bible all the way through, not really know what you believe. I think it's a very important thing personally to just know everything that you stand for and just know the full story. A lot of people go their whole lives and they've never read their respective faith books cover to cover. So I don't want to be one of those people. I want to be informed. I want to know what I believe deeply and intimately. So I'm about halfway through. I'm in Psalms. Shout out to all my Bible readers. Y'all know Psalms is very long. And I want to know more Psalms than just Psalms 23 and 100. If you know, you know. And my last 2025 goal is another personal goal. I've been in my gym bag. I don't have any before or after photos, I don't think. But I've been putting on a little muscle, I've been working on my pull-ups. But the next step to a pull-up is to do a muscle up where you pull yourself all the way up and then you push up with the bar below you. So I want to do a muscle up, at least one, and then go from there. But that's it. That's my 2025 goals. That's my ins and outs. Thank you all so much for watching. Please check out some of the related videos that I mentioned in the description, and I will see y'all in the next one. One last thing that I will plug is that I have CDs for sale. So if you would like to buy some of my original music, the link will be in the description. I have 2 projects out. My very first EP called Love Language and my second EP called All My Love. More music coming soon. See y'all in the next one.